Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the News at 6, where we get you the day's top developing stories. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. Proceedings disrupted in both houses of parliament over a controversial video of parliament and its surroundings by Aam Aadmi Party MP Bhagwant Mann. Members cut across party lines to seek action against Mann for live streaming the film. An Indian Air Force plane with 29 people on board goes missing over the Bay of Bengal. The aircraft was flying from Chennai to Port Blair amid inclement weather. Situation returning to normal in Gujarat even as 3 more Dalit men attempt suicide. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on Friday meets the victims of shaming incident in Una town. And in the US, Donald Trump accepts the Republican presidential nomination. The 70-year-old business tycoon promises a better and safer America. All right, the top story. An Indian Air Force plane, AN-32, went missing over the Bay of Bengal on Friday amid inclement weather. The aircraft was flying from Chennai to Port Blair with 29 people on board. A massive search operation has been now launched by the Indian Air Force, the Navy and the Coast Guard. Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar has said that all efforts are being made to trace the missing plane.
A massive hunt is on to find an Indian Air Force plane AN-32, which went missing with 29 people on board. The Russian-made transport plane was on its way to Port Blair from Chennai when it disappeared from the radar. Of the 29 people on board, 6 are crew members. According to sources, the aircraft took off at 8:30 a.m. from Tambaram in Chennai. The last contact with it was made 16 minutes later. Its estimated time of arrival in Port Blair was 11:30 a.m. The Navy, the Coast Guard and the IAF have launched a joint search and rescue operation. The Navy has deployed 2 aircrafts and 4 ships for the search operation.
Got airborne at 8:30 in the morning. It was expected at Port Blair at 11:30. However, as of now it is overdue and IAF has launched search operation.
The aircraft was carrying service personnel to the strategic islands near the Malacca Straits, where India has a military base. Meanwhile, more military assets are being sent to help in the search and rescue operation. The AN-32 is a Russian-origin military transport aircraft that has been in service with the IAF since 1984. The aircraft can fly up to 4 hours without refueling. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
We'll keep an eye out for developments there. Meanwhile, in the capital, Lok Sabha proceedings were disrupted on Friday following continuous protests against Aam Aadmi Party member Bhagwant Mann's controversial video of the Parliament House. Members from every party condemned Mann's action and demanded action against him. Mann was also summoned by Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan today, who termed it a serious issue and assured protesting members that action will be taken against him.
A controversial video of Parliament shot by Aam Aadmi Party MP Bhagwant Mann triggered protest in the Lok Sabha, leading to the House being adjourned till Monday. Speaker Sumitra Mahajan termed the matter serious, even as she summoned Mann and assured action against him.
मैं मानती हूँ क्योंकि पार्लियामेंट की सिक्योरिटी के लिए 13 लोगों ने जान गंवाई है। कभी 13 लोगों ने जान गंवाई है। मामला गंभीर है और इस पर हम कोई ना कोई कार्रवाई जरूर मैं मानती होना चाहिए। मैं इस सब मामले में सोचूंगी।
All parties condemned Mann and even demanded strong action against him. Leader of Congress in the lower house, Mallikarjun Kharge, said the House should speak in one voice on this.
सारा सदन एक होकर इसको कंडम करना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये देश के सिक्योरिटी का मामला है और जो 125 करोड़ जनता का रिप्रेजेंट करने वाले लोग यहाँ पर बैठे हुए रहते हैं, तो उनकी सुरक्षा का भी प्रश्न है और देश का भी प्रश्न है।
मैडम स्पीकर, भगवंत मान जी कह रहे हैं कि वो पुनः वो कार्रवाई करेंगे, वो दोबारा करेंगे वीडियोग्राफी। तो मैम, मेरा मानना है कि जबकि ये कह रहे हैं कि वो पुनः वही कार्रवाई करेंगे, आप पुनः सिक्योरिटी को जेपर्डी में डालेंगे तो उनको तत्काल निलंबित किया जाए। मैडम, उनको तत्काल निलंबित किया जाए।
It is a very serious matter. My only concern here is it is not ignorance. It is not foolishness either. It is not obduracy. I would say repeatedly what we have seen in the. Therefore, my request would be, Madam, a separate committee may be formed to find out. I leave it to your judgment, so that it's not a matter of ethics committee, not a matter of only privilege committee.
मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि देश की सुरक्षा के मामले में और संसद की प्रेस्टीज के मामले में कोई समझौता नहीं हो सकता। और जैसे संसद के सीक्रेसी इन्होंने आउट की है, इनसे इन्वेस्टिगेशन होनी चाहिए कि इसके पीछे किसका हाथ है।
A tense man himself stood up in his seat and was seen trying to speak. As the uproar continued, proceedings were adjourned for the day. In the nearly 12-minute-long video, Man is seen giving a running commentary as his vehicle crosses security barricades and enters Parliament. With Pranav Goswami and Ravindra Shoran, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, Rajya Sabha proceedings were also washed out on Friday following an uproar over Man's video of Parliament House. Members cutting across party lines objected to the Lok Sabha legislators' action in allegedly compromising the security of Parliament complex and putting it on social media. BJP members took a lead, in fact, in demanding action against him and forced several adjournments through the day.
The controversial video shot by Aam Aadmi Party member Bhagwant Mann in Parliament has triggered massive protests in the Rajya Sabha on Friday. Ruling BJP members took the lead in demanding suspension of business to take up discussion on the matter. Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi said the viral video clips on social media could help terrorists.
वो आतंकवादी जो आतंकवादी की पूरी दुनिया में अपनी शैतानी हरकतें कर रहे हैं, उन आतंकवादियों को आपने वो ठिकाने बताने की कोशिश की, उस तरह से आपने उन आतंकवादियों की मदद करने की कोशिश की जिससे वो आतंकवादी अपनी शैतानी हरकतों में कामयाब हो।
Every time anything affects the prerogative of the House, all of us have taken the matters very, very seriously. And we also say in matters related to the House, we have to be seen being proactive.
We have seen the attack on Parliament, how serious it was. Every day we are subjected to terrorism. Now if an MP behaves in such a cavalier manner, then action must be taken.
Members across the political spectrum denounced the Lok Sabha Members Act and demanded stern action against him.
I would urge, sir, given the seriousness of the matter, that the Honourable Chairman conveys what we feel about it and the Security Committee takes appropriate action. That's one part.
So it's both been a breach of that and a breach of security, breach of privilege and a breach of security, both. Now the question is what action should be taken. Action needs to be taken, there's no doubt. As the chair of this house, you can convey our sentiment to the other house. Since he's a member of the other house must proceed.
Admitting the seriousness of the issue, Deputy Chairman P.J. Kurian said the government must take cognizance of the security violation and take appropriate legal action.
Whoever does it, now whether it is Rajya Sabha member or Lok Sabha member, government should be seized of the matter and government should take appropriate action, whatever is needed. Number one, with regard to security, whatever is to be done, that should be done by government. Number two, with regard to the person who violated the security norms, government certainly can take legal action or other action should be done.
Sharp verbal exchanges were witnessed between the Treasury and the opposition benches as Congress members demanded action by the government. The BJP and SAD members also pressed for discussion. Question hour was paralysed as BJP members continued their tirade against the Lok Sabha member. The issue resonated even in the post-lunch session, stalling the private members' bill. As BJP members marched into the well, the chairman adjourned the House till Monday. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Amendment Bill 2015, introduced as a private member's legislation, was once again stuck in the upper house due to those disruptions. Proceedings were adjourned without further discussion on the bill.
The second half of the proceedings on Friday, which are reserved for private members' legislations, started on a stormy note. Members from the Treasury benches trooped into the well, demanding the arrest of Aam Aadmi Party MP Bhagwant Mann for making a controversial video inside Parliament earlier this week. Opposition members dubbed this as a tactic by the government to defer the discussion and passage of the Andhra Pradesh Reorganisation Amendment Bill 2015, which was introduced as a private member's legislation. It was moved by Congress MP Dr. KVP Ramachandra Rao on 11th of March this year.
They don't want that bill to be passed. This is a political issue. They are depriving the state of Andhra Pradesh politically. They are standing against the interest of the people of Andhra Pradesh.
Leader of the House must respond to the demand of his colleagues in the government and members of Parliament. They want arrest. Now you cannot order arrest. We cannot order arrest. Arrest can be done by the government. Let the leader of the House inform through you what action they are taking.
Even the deputy chairman expressed his displeasure at the slogan, shouting,
See, the treasury benches are obstructing. Usually it is opposition. Now today you are doing it.
Proceedings were finally adjourned for the day amidst slogan shouting. Congress had earlier issued a 3-line whip to its members in the upper house, hoping the bill would be taken up for discussion and voting on Friday. Vishal Dahiya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
In other news, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal met the victims of the Dalit family who were victims of a shaming incident in Una town of Gujarat. He also visited the Dalit youths at the hospital and inquired about their health. Calling the state government anti-Dalit, the Delhi Chief Minister alleged that the state government is involved in all these incidents happening in Gujarat.
After Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi on Thursday, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on Friday met Dalit victim in Una town of Gujarat and demanded stringent punishment for the accused. 4 men said to be tannery workers were tied to a sport utility vehicle, stripped and flogged with sticks for allegedly skinning a dead cow in Una town on 11th July.
सबसे पहले तो जिन लोगों ने ये किया है अभी वो सब पकड़े नहीं गए हैं, बताते हैं 40 से 50 लोग इसके अंदर जिम्मेदार हैं, 17 केवल पकड़े गए हैं। उन सब लोगों को तुरंत पकड़ के उनको सख्त से सख्त सजा दिलवाई जाए।
The incident sparked widespread protests in the state. Kejriwal visited the victims at a hospital where he noted a rise in incidents of violence against the Dalit community.
तो अगर थाने के सामने पुलिस की मौजूदगी में ये होता है तो इसका मतलब सीधा सीधा है कि प्रशासन के इशारे पे हो रहा है। पुलिस क्यों चुप है? पुलिस क्यों मिली हुई है?
Calling the ruling BJP anti-Dalit, Kejriwal alleged that the state administration was complicit in this particular case. The assault on the 4 men angered the community and a shutdown was observed in many parts of the state. Meanwhile, 3 more Dalit men allegedly attempted suicide in the Bothar district of Gujarat on Friday, even as the situation in most parts of the state returned to normalcy after witnessing 3 days of violent protests. So far, more than 20 youths have attempted suicide during the ongoing protests. Kejriwal urged protesters to continue their fight against atrocities, but said suicide was no solution to end caste violence. Kejriwal is the 3rd political leader to meet the victims this week after Gujarat Chief Minister Anandiben Patel and Gandhi. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, 1 person was killed in fresh clashes between protesters and security forces in Pulwama district of Kashmir on Friday, taking the death toll due to the recent unrest in the state to 45. Curfew was in force in the valley for the 14th day as a precautionary measure in view of large gatherings for Friday prayers. Home Minister Rajnath Singh will be visiting Kashmir on Saturday. According to reports, he will hold talks with the cross-section of people. Meanwhile, Supreme Court has also agreed to hear a petition seeking imposition of governor's rule in Jammu and Kashmir. The apex court will hear the petition under the provision of the J&K constitution. It was filed by Jammu and Kashmir National Panthers Party in light of the violence that has taken over the state after Hizbul militant Burhan Wani's death. And now let's take you through some more national news updates in Nationwide. The Enforcement Directorate booked former Haryana Chief Minister Bhupender Singh Hooda, officials of the Associated Journal Limited and publisher of the National Herald newspaper and others on charges of alleged money laundering. The case was filed after the Directorate took cognizance of a Haryana State Vigilance Bureau FIR that was filed in May this year. Huda and 4 officials are charged with allegedly reallocating a plot to the Associated Journal Limited in Panchkula in 2005. Huda termed the action as political vendetta, claiming that there was no wrongdoing. The Supreme Court today asked the centre to take possession of the controversial Adarsh Society complex in Mumbai. It also directed the centre to ensure that no demolition took place while securing the building. The Housing Society had moved the Supreme Court on the 18th of July against the Bombay High Court verdict directing the demolition of the 31-storey building located next to the defence installations. Over 50 villages in Chirang district of Assam were hit by heavy floods. Local residents took shelter in makeshift camps as flood water inundated their houses. People waded through knee-deep water, risking their lives as rainfall continued to batter the remote region. Residents said that officials visited them and assured to compensate their losses. Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar is all set to reshuffle his cabinet. Faridabad MLA Vipul Goyal and Rohtak MLA Manish Grover are likely to be inducted in the ministry. 2 ministers may be dropped from the current faces. The departments of some ministers may also be changed on the basis of their performance. Khattar had expanded his cabinet a year back for the first time after becoming Haryana's Chief Minister in October 2014. Five Maoist rebels surrendered before police today in Malkangiri district of Odisha. They were identified as Sukhdev, Rukmini, Rupesh, Lakshman and Santosh, 3 of whom belong to Chhattisgarh. Among them, 1 is a divisional committee member and 3 are area committee members, while 1 is a party member. They are wanted in several cases and carried cash rewards from 1 lakh to 5 lakh rupees. Without a quick break here, we'll be back with the international news in a bit. Stay with us.
Welcome to this episode of Eureka. We have with us Dr. B.N. Gangadhar.
No treatment for mental illness. That is the myth. Second myth is once a mentally ill is ever a mentally ill. Both I think are totally false. I want the people to understand mental illness is like any other illness to our body. Mental hospital is like any other hospital. They can get treatment, they can go back well and they can remain well forever.
Watch Eureka with Professor B.N. Gangadhar, Director, Nimhans, Bangalore, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back. Let's get to international news and starting with the US, where Donald Trump has vowed to put America first as he formally accepted the Republican nomination for the presidential elections in November. He promised to defeat the IS and Islamic terrorism, but toned down his previous proposal of a complete ban on the entry of Muslims into the country. In his speech, Trump also attacked his Democratic rival Hillary Clinton and the current Obama administration.
Together, we will lead our party back to the White House, and we will lead our country back to safety, prosperity, and peace.
With the promise of a better and safer America, Donald Trump accepted the Republican presidential nomination. The 70-year-old business tycoon said his presidency would usher in a new era, putting America and ordinary people first. Referring to the recent attacks, Trump said that restoring law and order in the country was his priority.
Americans watching this address tonight have seen the recent images of violence in our streets and the chaos in our communities. Many have witnessed this violence personally. Some have even been its victims. I have a message for all of you. The crime and violence that today afflicts our nation will soon, and I mean very soon, come to an end.
Trump also promised to defeat the terrorist group Islamic State and vowed to protect the LGBT community. He also reiterated his stand of stopping illegal immigration as he accused immigrants of taking jobs from American citizens and committing crimes.
We are going to build a great border wall to stop illegal immigration, to stop the gangs and the violence, and to stop the drugs from pouring into our communities.
Trump, who spoke for over an hour, also lashed out at the Obama administration and attacked his Democratic rival Hillary Clinton for making the situation in America worse. He said Clinton's email controversy was a corruption scandal never seen before.
America is far less safe and the world is far less stable than when Obama made the decision to put Hillary Clinton in charge of America's foreign policy. But Hillary Clinton's legacy does not have to be America's legacy. The problems we face now, poverty and violence at home, war and destruction abroad, will last only as long as we continue relying on the same politicians who created them in the first place.
The acceptance speech by Trump closed out the 4-day convention that underscored his struggle to heal fissures in the Republican Party. The event was boycotted by many a big name, including 2012 nominee Mitt Romney and members of the Bush family that gave the party its last 2 presidents. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now let's get you more international news updates in Global Buzz. Around 116 people were killed in rainstorms in China, triggering evacuation of more than thousands of people. Heavy rain in North China's Hebei province since Wednesday morning left 30 people dead and 68 missing. A French court charged 5 people, including 4 women and a man, for helping truck driver Mohamed Lahouej Boulel to lead the Nice attack that left 84 people dead on the 14th of July. 3 of the suspects were accused of murder by a group with terror links, and the other 2 were charged of breaking the law on weapons in relation to a terrorist group. According to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights Monitor, 51 civilians, including 15 children, were killed in bombardment of several rebel-held areas across Syria on Thursday. The group said that 13 people, including 3 children, were killed in government airstrikes outside Damascus. The chief of International Monetary Fund, Christine Lagarde, called for quick action to end uncertainty over Britain's vote to leave the European Union, which she said is dampening global economic growth. The IMF cut this year's global growth forecast by 0.1 percentage points to 3.1%. In a joint press conference, the transport ministers of Australia, Malaysia and China have announced that the hunt for the missing flight MH370 will be suspended if the plane is not found by December this year. Due to weather delays, the search is expected to be completed within this year. MH370 disappeared in March 2014 with 239 passengers. All right, let's change tracks. Get you sports news. And in cricket, skipper Virat Kohli's unbeaten century put India in a commanding position on the first day of the opening test match against West Indies in Antigua on Thursday. Virat Kohli was on 143 at stumps as the visitors reached 302 for 4. Kohli played freely on both sides of the wicket, displaying a rich array of strokes. It was his 12th test century and second highest test score. Early in his innings, Kohli passed 3,000 career test runs and later reached the 1,000 mark as test captain. But the most important figures were the partnerships that were built around his excellent innings. He shared a 105-run stand for the third wicket with Shikhar Dhawan. Opener Dhawan scored 84 runs, while Ravichandran Ashwin was 22 not out at stumps. The West Indies bowlers toiled hard for little reward on a flat pitch, but only leg spinner Devendra Bishu managed 3 wickets for 108 in 27 overs. And now let's get you more on-field action in Sports Beat. Brazilian police on Thursday arrested 10 people who allegedly pledged allegiance to the Islamic State militant group on social media. And according to officials, the group discussed possible attacks during the Rio Olympics. The arrests came a week after the truck massacre in Nice in France and amid growing fears of a possible attack when the first Olympics to be held in South America kicks off on the 5th of August. World Anti-Doping Agency or WADA has asked the International Olympic Committee to consider its responsibilities as it debates whether to ban all Russian competitors from the Rio Games. In a statement, WADA said that the Global Anti-Doping Group was satisfied with the CAS decision to deny an appeal by Russian track and field athletes for Rio reinstatement. In tennis, world number 12, Marin Cilic has split with coach Goran Ivanisevic after 3 years. Cilic has worked with compatriot Ivanisevic since September 2013 and won the 2014 US Open, beating Kei Nishikori in the final. The pair last worked together at Wimbledon, where Cilic surrendered a 2-set lead to lose to Roger Federer in the quarterfinals. Nico Rosberg has signed a new contract with Mercedes and will continue to partner with a triple world champion Lewis Hamilton for the next 2 years. The German joined the team at the end of 2009 and has been the runner-up in the championship the past 2 seasons. Rosberg leads the 2016 championship by 1 point going into Sunday's Hungarian Grand Prix. La Liga champions Barcelona have signed midfielder André Gomes from Valencia on Thursday. Gomes made 77 appearances for Valencia in 2 seasons. He was part of Portugal's 2016 European Championship winning side in France and becomes Barcelona's 4th signing of the transfer window after Denis Suarez, Samuel Umtiti and Lucas Digne. And that's all we have for you on the news at 6. Thanks so much for joining us.